I'm Kristin Omdahl, and welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is episode 552, and we're live in Southwest Florida watching the sunrise over the buildings and the trees in the east, and this is the beautiful Gulf of Mexico behind me. If you are joining me live, please say hello. If you end up watching the recorded version, please also say hello, because I get notified of all of those comments throughout the day, and I do know and appreciate that most people watch the recorded version. Did anybody knit or crochet this weekend? Did anybody get creative or craft at all? Hi Grace, hi Carrie Mate, hi Pamela, hi Lisa, hi Christine, hi Joe. Good morning and happy Monday, everybody. I am back home from Cleveland. Hi Grace. Thank you for joining live, everybody. Good morning, Judy and Kathy. Happy Monday, everybody. Joe knit a mug rug this weekend. I don't even know what that is, Joe. If I don't know, maybe other people don't know as well. If you'd like to share with us what that means, I'd love to hear it. Hi, Diane. Does that mean there was a picture of a coffee mug in a rug? I'm not sure. Lisa worked another Jillian shrug. Wonderful. Hi, Lucy. Yes, it is beautiful here. Pamela, yes, I did have a nice trip, and I'll tell you a little bit about it when we get started. Hi, Jane and Judy. Good morning. It's a mini rug that looks like a rug, but it's for putting your coffee cup on. So I'm guessing it's like a coaster. That it looks like a rug, but it's a coaster. That sounds adorable. So does it have fringe on it like some rugs too? I'll wait and see if I'm guessing correctly or not. But sounds cute either way. Hi, Cindy. Rectangle with fringe in the ends. That's adorable, Joe. I love that idea. I love that idea for a coffee mug coaster. Do I miss the snow? Not at all. It was so cold in Cleveland while I was there. And keep in mind, I know I'm from Michigan originally, but I've lived in Florida, South Florida, for 14 years now. My body has acclimated to this climate. Hi, Carly. Thanks for joining live. And it was 20s, snowing, windy, and very cold the whole time I was there. I got to see lots of beautiful snow. I got to hear the wind howl, and what else? Bundled up in lots of layers the whole time I was there. My feet and my ankles ached the whole time I was there. Could never get my feet to stay warm. Even at night in my hotel room, it was tough to get the ache out of my bones from being cold earlier in the day. But there is a climate for everybody. Hi, Constance. Thanks for joining live. Good morning. There's a climate for everybody, and there's a place for everybody. And I'm just grateful to be back home in the tropical. Christine went to a quilt show this weekend. That's great. That sounds fun. So I've been back home now a couple of days and working really hard behind the scenes on new patterns to release, new videos to release. We already have later today the Hibiscus baby layette set will be released as a pattern. It's going to be a set of booties, a hat, and a beautiful motif blanket. The patterns will be released later today. The first video of the 3-part series is premiering tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. so you can watch it with me, and then later in the week we'll be premiering the other 2 videos. So tomorrow morning will be the booty video. Following that will be the hat video. Then after that will be a video tutorial for the blanket. And later today, the Hibiscus layette set will be available as pattern plus charts on my website. And you'll find out more information about that on my blog. And it will be released in an email after that. Hi, Edna. Thanks for joining live. So remember last week before I left for Knit and Crochet Now, I showed you a whole bunch of outfits and we styled all the different blouses with the colors that were correct for filming on TV, and we accessorized all of them with knit and crochet patterns. Well, all of that went sideways when I got to Cleveland. First of all, a couple interesting things that I learned. The specific rules about what to wear and not wear on camera were based on older technology for camera equipment. And so now that TV shows are filmed in HD, or at least specifically Knit and Crochet Now is recorded in top-of-the-line video equipment at the studio in Cleveland in HD. And so some of those prints, though some of those print rules don't apply anymore. Before you were not allowed to wear prints on camera because they would move. Now it's only very tiny prints or very tiny lines that would move if you wore something in a small print. So I was able to wear a large print blouse on camera, which was something new for me. The other thing was that they only allowed me to wear knit and crochet accessories for 3 of my 7 segments. They wanted 2 and I pushed for 3 because my patterns weren't necessarily part of the show. They knew that they would get a lot of questions about it and only wanted to be promoting the things on the show. I get that. That makes perfect sense to me. So of all of the things that I brought, I was allowed to wear the Alicia earrings, the Knit Zen scarf, and what was the third one I was allowed to wear? Oh, the Meadow poncho. So I wore the Meadow poncho from Layers Crochet Book. I wore the Zen striped scarf, the knit version from my website, and I wore the Alicia earrings from 52 Crochet Gifts. Hi Jill, thanks for joining live. And then the other segments, I just wore the plain silky blouses. So that was fine. Did all of my segments on time and finished early actually. So we did a really great job. We all worked really well together. And I found out more information about how to find the show. Woo, that's a lot of wind. I'm guessing someone's going to start fussing about that, so let's move it. Yeah, at least I got to wear a few things. That's fine, Lisa. I'm fine with that. I'm so happy for the opportunity to be on a TV show on PBS and get all that amazing exposure that even if I wasn't allowed to wear anything, I'd still be grateful for the experience. So the fact that I get to wear a couple of my designs is absolutely just icing on the cake, right? So that brings me to my next point. I heard a lot more information about when the show will air and how it airs and how all that works behind the scenes, which I think you're going to find interesting. So PBS owns the right to the TV show for 3 years once they pick it up. So even let's go back to season 10 last year, the first season that I was on for Knit and Crochet Now. PBS will run that repeated for 3 years, so you could still watch season 10, and I'm sure it's still on demand if you watch it on your cable provider. So each season is available for 3 years before it then goes off the air. So season 10 now has run for 1 year. We've got 2 more years of that. Then season 11, which will come out starting in June, and I'll explain that in a minute, it will run for 3 years after that as well. So even if you missed it the first time around do you remember last June I said, oh, the first episode is out, it doesn't matter if you don't watch it that particular day. And I can't read the screen if I wear my glasses, but I appreciate your sentiment, and lots of people find it disrespectful if I don't wear my glasses in the podcast as well. So at least I'm only out here for a few minutes. And I turned the camera that way to not be facing the sun, but then the wind came up, and I know other people won't like that either. Can't please everybody, right? Hi, Wendy. Thanks for joining live. So where was I with the PBS stuff? I was saying it runs for 3 years. Oh, and remember last year, hi, Chris. Thanks for joining live. Happy Monday. Remember last year when we didn't know what day the show started? Well, that is because PBS does not let even the show producers know that. It just starts airing and it trickles out into different stations. So it is kind of a surprise when it starts airing. I think it started airing in June for me last year, but some people it didn't start airing until September and even later. And that's because each station starts airing the new season at different times. So it really is a bit of a mystery. It wasn't a miscommunication last year. So I'm happy to know that. So now I can be more of a detective this year and start working on that. And I'll explain to you some reminder information Oh, hi Wendy, this is your first time here live. That's great. And I think I saw another Judy maybe. I can't remember. I saw another name. Anyway, thank you for joining everybody. I appreciate it. All right, if you want to know where PBS airs Knit and Crochet Now in your neighborhood, in your city, you go to the front page of my website and you scroll down to the bottom where it's the About Me section. I explain information there on how to find Knit and Crochet Now in your PBS. There's a link to the PBS page that you can share your zip code. Also, if you live in other parts of the world or in one of the areas that doesn't air the show, there is a link to Annie's website, who is the producer of the show, and you can order the DVDs or you can order a subscription to the show on their website. And there's more information about that there as well. So there's lots of options. Also, I found out this week that PBS has now picked up Knit and Crochet Now in 80 of its markets. So hopefully that means that if you already got it last year, you still have it. And if you didn't get it last year, maybe you're more likely to get it this year. So let's stay on them. If you feel inclined to reach out to your PBS station and request it in writing, in email, in phone calls, in social media, I'm sure that they want to have content on their stations that their viewers want. So I'm sure requesting wouldn't hurt either. Does anybody have any questions about any of that? Because I think I shared quite a bit of information. I'll wait a second and see if there's questions about where to find PBS or anything else. Thanks, Judy. Judy's asking for a thumbs up. If you enjoy my podcast, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you like my podcast or my videos or anything else on my YouTube channel, please feel welcome to subscribe to the channel. Then you'll be first to know when there's a new video. And if you click the bell notification next to the subscribe button, you'll get notified every time I go live. So you can always join in these live interactive conversations, which are so fun. And then you'll get notified for the pre-chat so you can start chatting together as a community before I even join the party and go live, which I know a lot of people enjoy that as well. Any questions about PBS? This season I also did all knitting tutorials, and last season I did 6 episodes. This season they invited me back for 7 episodes of exciting. So I'll be on 7 of the 10 episodes of Knit and Crochet Now in season 11. So excited. And I did some of the photography for them this weekend too, or last week. So maybe some of the cover art on the DVD jacket will be my photography. How cool is that? All right, I don't think I see any questions. So I've been super busy knitting and crocheting in the background as well. I brought some yarn with me on the trip so that I had something to do on my travel days. And so the day I flew up, I started knitting a knit lace wrap and didn't, oh, Edna's giving love to everybody here. That's so nice. Thanks, Edna. I know everybody appreciates the warm community here, so thank you for that. And then the days of filming, I don't do any extra knitting. It's so much work and just so, you get on a roll and just boom, 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 getting it out. So then the following day on my travels home, I continued knitting the wrap, and it is almost done, so super excited about that. I did it in Biso Baby yarn in colorway Burgundy, which is such a beautiful like date night color. So I'm picturing blocking it, putting some beautiful fringe, maybe even beaded fringe on it, and styling it with a little black dress to show how you'd wear it as on a date night, but then it will be long enough that you can wrap it around as a scarf as well. It is nice and easy. It's an easy pattern to repeat, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. So I cannot wait to share that with you. Crochet Along project coming soon. I'm about 90% done with the sample. And I have the charts and the pattern in process. It'll go to tech editing after that and photography after that. And then that will be released as a mystery crochet along. I will say it's going to be a bag. But what we'll do is we'll release portions of the pattern every week. So it'll be a 3 or 4 part pattern release, and so you'll know how much yarn you need to start with, how much of each color. You'll be given some color options, like what colors I use together, and then if you want to mix and match other colors, that's fine. And then once you order the pattern, a portion of it will be released every week, kind of like how we did 52 crochet gifts in advance. I have my oh, that's another thing I got to mention that today too. So when we release 52 crochet gifts, we release little bits at a time. Well, that's how a mystery crochet along works as well. So you'll get parts of the pattern each week, and you won't know what you're making until it comes together, which is a lot of mystery, a lot of anticipation. And I really love the way the bag looks, so I'm hoping you will as well. Also, 52 Crochet Gifts is now in stock and ready to ship, so I will be autographing all of the pre-order copies today and start shipping them out. Not sure if I'll get them all out today because there are a lot, but I will definitely be getting them out in the next couple of days, starting today. What else? So then going forward, obviously, as you order, it's not pre-order anymore. They will be shipped timely like other orders. What else did I want to say about that? I don't know. Does anybody have any questions? I shared a lot again. So we've got baby layette pattern coming later today. Videos starting to come for it tomorrow. The patterns for the baby layette are coming as a bundle, Kathy. It'll be the booties, the blanket. I'm in Naples, Florida, Edna. Hi, Marjorie. Hi, Kathy. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. Glad you could be here live. It's a beautiful morning. Started out a little chilly, but it's good now. I brought a jacket that I took off already. That's nice. Yeah, Naples, Florida, if you don't, Edna lives in India. She may not know where Naples, Florida is. Naples is as far south as you can go in Florida on the west coast. So I'm opposite Florida from Miami, the opposite coast. Someone's mentioning my top. This is actually a beach cover-up. It's not even a top or a dress. It's a beach cover-up that my sister gave me years ago. Has cold shoulders, has a stretchy waistband, and has like a velvet burnout texture pattern to it. And I love to wear it over leggings. I love to wear it over bathing suit too, but it's not bathing suit weather for me right now. Certainly not before the podcast either. Thanks, Lisa. I love it too. Yeah, Grayson remembers that I've worn it on the podcast before. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite tops. Hi, Petra. Thanks for joining live. It has a couple of features that I love. I love cold shoulder, which I know a lot of you know. And I love the elasticized waistband in the middle of a longer top because I like waist definition in my clothing. Hi, Petra. Thanks for joining live. Thanks, everybody, for welcoming Petra. That's so awesome. I love it when someone new joins. Oh, Edna. Yeah, Cleveland's over. Cleveland was 20 degrees and snowing. I am... yeah, definitely back to Florida. Christine wants to know if I've ever crocheted bathing suit. Yes, I have 2 crochet bikini patterns on my website even. One of them I crocheted in Be So Sporty yarn, and the other one I crocheted in Be So Fine yarn. And you can find both of them on my website. Hi, Amber. Thanks for joining live. Welcome to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. Yeah, Cindy, my sister does have great taste in clothes. She is also a thrift store aficionado. You know, I love to shop used on eBay. She loves to shop actual thrift stores. And I am 99% sure that she picked this up at a thrift store before using it, loving it, and then giving it to me before she moved back to Michigan. Pamela's working on the Trinity shawl. Wonderful. Yeah, Christine, when you look up the bikini patterns, you'll see that they're on professional bikini models. How about a pattern for a more adult throw? Grace wants to know. Well, there is the Cherie throw in 52 Crochet Gifts. This pattern here. Got that one. That's the first one I can think of off the top of my head. But if you go to the free pattern directory on my website, there's a whole category for blankets, throws, and Afghans, and you can look through a bunch of patterns there as well. And anything that has a the Afghan can definitely get made larger as well. There is a rectangular Afghan. Grace is requesting a rectangular one. There's a beautiful rectangular Afghan crochet pattern in the finer edge. So if you have the finer edge book, you can find it in there. I'm trying to think where else you could find it. Definitely in that book. I can't think the name of it off the top of my head. If anybody has a copy of that book handy, maybe you could share the name. I don't remember. It's been too many years. But it's really pretty. It's a rectangular Afghan made in a motif that grows from the center out, like we talk about a lot. So it's one motif that grows as a rectangle. And then the edging is worked in two different techniques of edging in two different colors. So it ends up being a 3-color Afghan with a gorgeous edging on it. But you could do it all in one color as well. Yeah, it's okay, Grace. If you have the book, even better, since you're the one asking about it, you can go and find it in that book. But if you don't have it handy to share the name, that's fine. Amber started the fine Chantilly lace vest last night. That's wonderful. Yeah, so Joe, if you're interested in it, you have a book, that's great too, but it's okay if no one has it handy. I don't expect anybody else to be able to find a name like that. If I can't do it, I don't expect anyone else to either. I mean, if I look on Ravelry, I think I've written like 700 patterns now, maybe. The Luxor blanket. Judy looked it up. Thanks, Judy. It's called the Luxor blanket. So you can Google that and find it on Ravelry. I don't know if the publisher Interweave sells it as an individual pattern, but I know they do sell it as part of the book in the finer edge. Thank you, Judy. Yeah, I can't remember if I'm at 600, 700, or 800 patterns. It's somewhere in that range in my Ravelry database. So the fact that I remember any names at all is kind of a mystery. Hi, Marissa. Thanks for joining live. Glad you could be here. Sometimes I remember quite a few names still though. So anyway, the Luxor blanket. But if you're looking for a rectangular throw, that is a really beautiful rectangular throw. I still own the sample. It is in my living room. Next time we do a podcast at home, if someone wants to bring it up, I can go grab it and bring it onto camera. If anybody cares to remember that the next time we go live from my home. Hi, everybody. Was anybody else crafty over the weekend? I worked late Saturday and Sunday night finishing up that knit lace wrap that I'm super excited to show you soon, and finishing up, and well, not quite finishing up, the mystery crochet along bag. Kristin can't remember her own name half the time. You know what I can't remember half the time is my age, and I don't know why. It's not that I'm trying to hide. I'm super proud of being 47. I'm not ashamed of my age, but for some reason when people ask me, ever since I turned 40, I think I'm like 41 or 42, and I have to actually do the math from 1972 to figure out how old I am, and I don't know why. Yeah, Pamela, I definitely need some downtime. Unfortunately, I did not take any downtime getting back to work when I got home, and I'm feeling it this morning. And I need to figure out some way to incorporate some downtime in the next few days so I don't get run down. Someone else was asking how I got into making wearables. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily so as important to say how I got into it, because I'm kind of the person that just jumps into things, you know. But if I'm going to give you advice as a seasoned designer, and after 16 years now, and as a seasoned teacher after 16 years, other than being like me and just jumping in both feet into the deep end, which some people like to do that, some people don't. My heart tells me to give you a different type of advice, and that would be starting with wearables that aren't necessarily fitted. So, like, you know how in some of my books and some of my patterns, I make rectangular pieces like ruanas and cardi vests and ponchos and things that don't have a whole lot to make them look more fitted. That's where I would start for wearables and build up your confidence. Because when you've only made scarves or hats or small things, you get intimidated, which is the reason why you're asking me in the first place, right? If you were feeling brave about it, you'd jump in with both feet. So the fact that you're asking the question tells me that you're feeling a little intimidated about it. So that's where I would start. I would start with smaller steps, making something like any of my ruanas or ponchos or cardi vests. Someone's making one of the cardi vests right now as well. I think someone mentioned that this morning. Any one of those patterns would be a great place to start. Done the styling videos to show you how to drape them and tie them and belt them and do all those things to make them look like they are completely fitted, but yet because of the drape of the yarn and the texture and the style and the shape of those pieces, they are A, easy to make, B, easy to style as well. So that's where I would start. And then when you gain your confidence and build your skill level and work on larger projects and gain your confidence from working on larger projects too, and gain that extra patience that it takes to work on something larger and finish, then from there, then I would work on more fitted wearables after that. And I hope that makes sense. But that would be my advice. Oh, I think people are still talking about the age comments too. That's fine as well. Yeah, we all have our opinions on growing older, right? I had a long conversation with the makeup artist, because you sit in the makeup chair at a TV studio for a long time, especially when you have such dark circles under your eyes like me. She said mine are definitely genetic because the skin on top of my eyelid is just as dark as the one under my eyelids, which is super dark, which is why I never leave the house without concealer. Okay, the wind stopped. I'm going to try moving this again because I think my phone's getting overheated. Let's try that. The wind starts up again. I'm having trouble seeing the screen again. Anyway, she was saying, what were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about Botox. That's what we were talking about. And I was telling her that I have no interest in doing stuff like that. And she goes, well, you're not at the age yet. She says, at 47, I didn't either. She goes, it was about 60 that she started considering it. So. Pamela says, concealer, mascara, and lipstick. Yep. I actually stopped wearing mascara a while back. I think right after beginning of the year I stopped wearing it, and I've been really hesitant to go back to mascara right now. I've been wearing everything but for a while, and I don't know why. Cindy loves wearables. Me too. Oh, and she likes minimal seam. Me too. And my other piece of advice for the person asking about where to begin in wearables is going to be the same advice I give to somebody on where to begin, period, if they want to try something new. And that's going to be find a project that speaks to you. So let's say you don't like the advice that I gave you a few minutes ago about wearing ponchos and styling them or cardi vests. And let's say you really want to make a cardigan or a pullover or a vest or something like that. My advice would be find a project that speaks to your heart and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to make that. And that will be the inspiration and the motivation you need to learn something new and to stick with it and to have the patience to work through a large project if you're not used to it. So that's the part B of my advice. I'm glad someone brought it back up because that's something that I really do love to share as advice when someone's wanting to do something outside their comfort zone, is to truly find a project that speaks to you and speaks to your heart and you're like, I can't live without it. I have to make that. And when you find that kind of a project, you will absolutely have better success than if you're ho-hum or lukewarm about a project before beginning. Does anybody else agree with that? I would imagine there's other people that agree with that when they've wanted to try something new. I know I've given that advice for many years, and I know a lot of people that have come to me and said, you are so right. That worked really well for me. Grace says she does. Joe agrees. Pamela, yes, eyebrow pencil. I don't leave the house without eyebrow pencil anymore either. My eyebrows are either turning gray or bleaching out in the sun, and I definitely use eyebrow pencil every day. Cindy agrees. Lisa agrees. I'm so glad. Yeah, that's great advice, not only for me to give people, but for you to give friends too. Petra loves that advice too. So remember, just because I shared with you doesn't mean you can't share with other people too. So when people come up to you and say, oh my gosh, I love to crochet or I love to knit, when they watch you do it and they said, but I don't know how to do what you're doing, that you can share the same advice that I share with you to them. Let's just pay it forward. Word of mouth is wonderful ways to share with people. So whatever advice that I've given you that you appreciated and worked for you, please feel welcome to share it with others too, and we can just make the world a craftier place to be. Okay, so I mentioned that 52 Crochet Gifts is in stock, so you can order it autographed from my website now. And what else? What else did we talk about this morning? Oh, we talked about new patterns coming soon, and I'll send out an email later today with more information about that. I only brought one Create, Share, Inspire notebook with me this morning, but I can randomly pick a quote and we can share it. I'm not being picky. I just found one that we did recently. Ooh, this is a good one. Andrew Carnegie. There is little success where there is little laughter. Isn't that true? I mean, I don't care. I don't necessarily think that being the richest man in the world is being the most successful person in the world. I think true success comes from being happy with whatever you have at any given moment. And if that's the case, laughter is a pretty big part of that too. So thank you, Andrew Carnegie, for sharing this brilliant quote with us. There is little success where there is little laughter. Even if you just need to work on your life 5 minutes at a time, an hour at a time, a day at a time, always find a way to find something to laugh about on any given day, and I guarantee it'll be a better day than if you didn't find time to laugh. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes with me. I hope you enjoyed the sunrise, the beach, my little show and tell, chatting with me and everyone else here. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. I'll see you next time. Bye.